While preparing a birthday surprise for Ching Shujo, I suddenly came across a post. The person I like has a girlfriend, but I plan to confess to him on his birthday. Is that okay? The comment section was full of question marks. To gain everyone's support, she continued updating the post. I'm a med student, currently doing my residency at a top-tier hospital. Whether it's my current education level or future social status, I should far surpass his current girlfriend. His girlfriend was recommended for admission as an outstanding student. I don't need to say how unimpressive that is. Our group has known each other for almost a year, and I've never seen a photo of that girl. I think either she's ugly, or he doesn't like her that much. His girlfriend must be a bit love-struck, just posting little love notes every day. But I can show my feelings through actions. We've known each other for days, and our Doeen's spark has been going for days. Gosh, I rate myself an 8 in looks and figure. With a pleasant personality, I'm the kind of emotionally intelligent girl. In work or life, I can be his best partner. I clicked open the image she attached. My eyes fell on the watch of the guy. Even without seeing his face, I instantly recognized the person in the photo as Ching Shujo. On the day we broke up, everyone was trying to talk me out of it, saying it was just casually sharing, not even emotional cheating. I shook my head. All those meaningless things they shared with each other were essentially a desire to be part of each other's lives. And an endless desire to share is the thread of love. This time when I came back, I didn't tell Ching Shujo in advance. Planning to give him a birthday surprise just half an hour ago, Ching Shujo sent me a location. A newly opened hot pot restaurant. He and a few colleagues plan to try it after work. If it's good, I'll definitely bring you here next time. He was still the same as always, reporting everything whenever he had time. I turned off my phone, changed my destination. By the time I arrived at the hot pot restaurant, they had just gotten there a little while ago. I wore a hat and chose a seat behind them. Ching Shujo came out after washing his hands. A girl not far away walked up to him with hot pot dipping sauces. This is their secret sauce. And this one is the one you usually eat. I made one of each for you. Ching Shujo naturally took the sauce bowl from her hand and tasted it. The secret sauce is quite spicy. You shouldn't eat it. The girl happily raised the corner of her mouth. Thanks for the reminder. The two people closest to me lowered their voices and made bold guesses. They really aren't together yet? Hard to believe. So many people at school have a crush on Asu, but he keeps his distance. Who knew the one destined for him was right here? Don't even get me started. Asu is swamped like a dog, but he still helps Soo-jia check the night shift stuff. They're definitely going to be a power couple in the future. And Jia really cares about Asu too. It's been less than a year, and she's already washing clothes at his place. The one destined for him, a power couple. Even Ching Shujo's clothes are washed by her personally. My phone suddenly vibrated. That post was updating again. Having hot pot with someone I like. He's so thoughtful. He even tasted the dipping sauce first to warn me it's a bit spicy. Who wouldn't love a guy like this? Someone commented on this post right away. No matter how great he is, he's someone else's boyfriend now. I suggest the OP sort out the relationship before letting the love brain take over. This reply was quickly deleted. I put down my phone. Ching Shujo and the others had already sat down and started eating while complaining, from the regrets over choosing college majors in the college entrance exam to the hardships of last night's night shift. Someone suddenly changed the subject. Isn't it Asu's birthday in a couple of days? Want to go out and celebrate together? Ching Shujo still refused. I have plans that day. It's just a birthday, no need to make a big deal out of it. Oh, so if Soo-jia hadn't brought it up, you wouldn't come? Sister Jia, why don't you say something? Soo-jia put down her chopsticks. A bit sulkily, his girlfriend wants to celebrate his birthday alone with him. Who am I? Not his girlfriend. I had heard rumors before, but so you really do have a girlfriend. I slowly lowered my eyes. This was the 8th year Ching Shujo and I had been together. We had smoothly passed the 7-year itch and met each other's parents. So whether he had my photo on his moments had long ceased to matter to me, especially since he never posted anything. But at that moment, I was unexpectedly worried about his answer. I subconsciously took a big gulp of water and coughed so hard my chest ached. Yes, but we're in a long-distance relationship. It was Ching Shujo's voice, low and calm. Remember when we first started college? The first time I visited him at his school, he insisted on dragging me to class, as if he wanted even the teacher to know I was his girlfriend. The classmate in the front row just wanted to ask if it was raining outside, but Ching Shujo answered irrelevantly, holding my hand with bright eyes. How did you know my girlfriend is here? Unlike now, his words contain an answer, a twist, and hidden meaning. That girl named Sujia couldn't help but speak up. Is there no good choice around you? Haven't you suffered enough? Why must you maintain a relationship that brings you no benefit? Ching Shujo was silent for a moment. Feelings? Let's not talk about benefits. Then, let's talk about liking. Does she know how tired you are? Does she know your pressure? Don't you have even a little regret in your heart? Sujia's voice was clearly choked with sobs, full of grievance and unwillingness. Everyone present suddenly fell silent. I don't know how long passed before I finally heard Ching Shujo's voice. He said, "There will be regret, but I'll force myself to make peace with it. And my current situation doesn't allow me to think about all sorts of things." I abruptly closed my eyes. Blame me. It's me who caused him to have extra regret for no reason. It's me who forced him to reconcile with himself helplessly. It's me who got him into a situation where he can't think about all sorts of things. But he seemed to forget that we got together in the first place for each other's completeness. All right, these things can't be settled in a hot pot place anyway. What gift do you want for your birthday, Aksu? Someone, seeing the awkward atmosphere, started to smooth things over. Sujia said angrily, "I don't know what you're giving him, but I know his precious girlfriend. Last year on his birthday, his girlfriend wrote him a letter. Just 2 sentences, not even complete sentences. Can't even write 2 sentences? Axe's girlfriend shouldn't have a bad education, right?" Sujia glanced at Ching Shujo and continued to mock. "That's not necessarily true. I remember she wrote something like, 'Stay safe and always be by my side.' Not to say she's really love-struck, but even if she couldn't write sweet words herself, she could have copied a couple of lines." I stared blankly, holding my chopsticks, not even noticing the boiling water from the pot splashing onto my hand. Last year, on Ching Shujo's birthday, my advisor asked me to follow up on data. It was the first time since we got together that I didn't celebrate his birthday with him. I originally wanted to write a very long passage to prove how important he is to me, but I wrote and rewrote it. I revised it over and over, only to realize that the 2 things I wanted to say to him were simple: stay safe and always be by my side. But the words I wrote with such devotion were taken as jokes for idle gossip. At that moment, Ching Shujo was unforgivable for the rest of his life. I stood up, dragged my suitcase, and left the hot pot restaurant. In Hangzhou, an autumn rain turned the season straight into winter. I wrapped my hoodie jacket tighter and wandered aimlessly down the street. Not far away, a shop was lined with a long queue. It was my favorite mooncake store. I still remember senior year of high school. I was huddled in my seat wrapped in a padded jacket and casually mentioned to my desk mate that I was craving mooncakes. The best were the mooncakes with pickled mustard greens and fresh pork from September Life, but it was a pity that the delivery always arrived cold. My desk mate shoved a cookie into my hand. "Just eat whatever for now. I'll buy you some next Mid-Autumn Festival," he said. But unexpectedly, Ching Shujo, who sat behind me, took note. Before evening self-study, a bag was placed on my desk, steaming hot. Ching Shujo didn't even lift his head. His voice was as calm as usual. "I just happened to step out of school. Eat it while it's hot." That evening's exam ranking, my rank remained just ahead of his. My desk mate teased, "Ching Shujo, you're always being overshadowed by Song Jin." He smiled, looking at me with an earnest focus. "If I were you, I'd poison her mooncakes. But I'm not here to compete with her for rankings." Later, we agreed to go to the capital together. I took the early admission offer, while he had to fight hard in the college entrance exams. But fate seemed to have its own plan. A few points short kept him in Hangzhou. On the day he saw me off to school, my parents didn't cry, but his eyes turned red. "What if you meet a better guy and leave me?" "I'll work hard." I hugged him. "No, I won't. From the day I agreed to be with you, I've decided to hold your hand through every season." That Christmas, I rushed back from the capital overnight to his school. I had some close high school classmates trick him into the square. When Ching Shujo saw me pop out of a huge gift box, he stood there staring at me for so long that I thought he would never speak again. "What's wrong? Aren't you happy to see me?" He suddenly hugged me tight. Jean, we'll get married, right? I really want to have a home with you. That way, I could see you every day. I will love you forever." Countless beautiful scenes played through my mind like a slideshow. Until yesterday, I had still turned down my advisor's offer to stay in the city because I couldn't bear to leave Shujo alone again. But back then, I didn't know that forever is just a word to sweeten the moment when love exists. Nor did I know that Shujo hadn't been alone for a long time. Every day I wasn't by his side. Every holiday I missed. He had found someone to replace me. I went to Shujo's place. There were still some things to deal with. The computer in the study was still on, with the screen stuck on a Douyin chat interface. The girl was a resident trainee who started at the hospital the same time as him. The spark streak had just reached 300 days. A little fire figure on the screen kept waving at me, as if mocking my stupidity. I scrolled up, one message after another. This sticker is so cute, it looks just like you. Did the head nurse yell at you today? No. She just speaks loudly. Shujo, you're such a nice person. You're nice too. Shujo, look at this resident trainee. Their life looks so miserable. LOL, that's literally yes. I noticed you didn't go to the cafeteria for breakfast. Did you not have time? Missed it? You're really lucky to have me. I brought some for you. Shujo, are you married? What are you saying? Definitely not. Oh, I just heard you have a girlfriend, but since you're not married, it's fine. Don't overthink it. You have the night shift tomorrow, right? If I make it through my night shift safely tomorrow, I'll treat you to dinner. Then I wish you well. Let's have dinner together tomorrow night. If it's too late to go back, I'll crash at your place for the night. Same rules. You're on the couch. Cute emoji. As a thank you, I left some fruit on your desk. Washed. Grateful heart. Alright. See you tomorrow night. Sure. They went from sharing videos of medical students venting to making AI-generated funny photos together, and now they talk about everything. The dense chat logs made me feel increasingly ridiculous. They talked from high school to college, from a newly opened coffee shop on the corner to the sunset after work. While Shujo was busy following his mentor into the operating room and didn't even have time to reply to my messages, he still found time to comfort her when she was upset after being yelled at by a patient. Over the past year, I've felt sorry for him working night shifts one after another, with no time to sleep, so I never disturb him unless absolutely necessary. But Sujia could casually blame him for almost failing to keep up their streak, as if it were nothing. While I worried about his health, buying him all kinds of convenient breakfasts he liked and reminding him to make time for exercise, he would celebrate Sujia getting through a single night shift by taking her to eat at the snack street. And on the most devastating day since starting my PhD, I discovered contamination in my petri dishes that ruined 2 months of work, and I instantly broke down. I couldn't help but call Shujo. He hung up without even replying to a single message. I thought he was busy. But actually, that day he was accompanying Sujia to her first ever concert, not allowing anyone to disturb them. Now I finally understand. The contamination in the petri dish only ruined 2 months of my work, but the impurities in my relationship with Shujo have destroyed 8 years of my life. Tears streamed down my face uncontrollably when suddenly a new message notification synced on my computer screen. So, we really can't spend my birthday together? Next time, pat on the head.jpg, keep your word, we'll spend it together next year. As you command, how dare I disobey your orders? That post started updating again. After the dinner, he drove me home. Today we almost broke through that barrier. I'm actually a guiding type of lover. I can definitely make him realize his own feelings, but now is not the time. I still hope he can discover his own feelings on his own. The accompanying image is a photo she took from the rearview mirror, showing Shujo's hand stroking her head, the corners of the mouth slightly raised. I've already seen this for the 3rd time. I can't stand you. You have to pursue him. You're so outstanding. How can you wait for that scumbag to realize his own feelings? Isn't that letting him harm others? Promise me you'll pursue him immediately. Exactly. The host is fair-skinned, beautiful, and academically accomplished. Why should she indulge his girlfriend? Must pursue, no discussion. Not pursuing is a dog. Feelings arise, but stop at manners. I advise the OP to stop. In love, there's no first come first served, but people have propriety and shame. Keep your voice down. Is this matter glorious? Some things are better kept private. I very calmly sent a message to Shujo. There's no going back. My birthday? Why didn't you spend it with me last year or this year? Our Jean is just so busy. I turned off my phone and stopped replying. Shujo, from now on, there won't be me at any of your birthdays. Whether you're busy or not, I won't be there. After packing up everything, Ching Shujo showed up at the door. His face was full of smiles, and he teased, "Didn't you say you didn't have time to come back? Are you trying to surprise me? Too bad I saw your ticket info on my phone. Wouldn't it have been better to meet me earlier?" He reached out to hug me, but I dodged him. I almost forgot we've always shared a ticketing app. When I told him I wasn't coming back, he immediately checked my ticket info. What kind of surprise is this? Everyone was eating happily, and you suddenly decide to come back. This is a shock for us, okay? Sujia staggered in from outside the door, her scrutinizing gaze landing on me with some displeasure. The person behind quickly cut off Sujia's words. "Sorry, Sujia's had too much to drink and can't control her mouth. She's just curious about who Su's girlfriend really is." Insisting that we all come over, Sujia, whether genuinely drunk or pretending, pointed at me and asked the group around her, "Who's prettier, her or me?" In just a few words, Ching Shujo had already walked out of the kitchen with a glass of honey water. "You're the prettiest, you're the prettiest. Now sit down and drink this. Stop making a scene." Placated, Sujia familiarly pulled out a pair of slippers from the shoe cabinet, put them on, and walked straight to the bedroom. Ching Shujo shook his head at me helplessly. "She's drunk. Don't hold it against her." I lowered my eyes, my heart turning cold. From the moment we entered until now, Ching Shujo had noticed that none of my things were in the room anymore. The cup in the kitchen, the clothes in the room, the throw pillows on the sofa. His interaction with Sujia was too natural, so natural that anyone could tell they'd done this more than once. Ching Shujo immediately noticed something was wrong with me. "I live close to the hospital, so they often crash here. I know you don't like others touching your things. So, I never let them into your room. Right? I don't even allow strangers into my room, so I don't understand." I couldn't understand how Ching Shujo, knowing that I don't like strangers touching my things, could share the person he likes with a stranger. Especially just now, in that instant, I vaguely saw the provocative smile at the corner of Sujia's mouth. The two of them seemed to have tacitly completed a task of comforting the mistress right in front of me. I made up an excuse and went back to my room. I planned to wait until they left and then talk to Ching Shujo face to face. My rationality told me to give myself closure for these 8 years of relationship. But as soon as I closed the door, I heard his colleagues take turns persuading him. "Sue, your future is still long. You can't always think about vague things like 8 years of relationship, meeting the parents, responsibility, and morality. You deserve the best and most suitable one." "Yeah, you say she cares about you, but you also care about her." In a relationship, both sides contribute. Even if you don't end up with Sujia, you should at least find someone you like. And, to be honest, don't take this to heart, but Sujia is so much better than her. Look, since we came in, has she even given us a friendly face? If she's like this even with her boyfriend's good friends, what kind of temper do you think she has? Just think about how many guys Sujia has turned down for you. On Chishi Festival, she drank too much and cried calling your name. But you? You were in the capital with your girlfriend and didn't even bother to come back and check on her. You're a real jerk. On Chishi, I remember I had a fever and was getting in for at the hospital. Half asleep, I felt a sharp sting on the back of my hand. The 4 bag was empty, but Ching Shujo was just staring at his phone. I tugged at his sleeve. Only then did he snap out of it and kept apologizing, saying his boss was reminding them in the group chat to prepare for Monday's presentation. So all that year, when Ching Shujo was with me, how many moments was his heart truly warm? How many words were true? How many times was he fully focused on me? Sujia's post was still updating. Finally, I saw his so-called girlfriend. Ordinary and mediocre. What's worse, she's already moved in with him before getting engaged. She's a local, but she doesn't go home. For girls like us with strict upbringing, that's totally unacceptable. Someone in the comments asked cluelessly, "Crazy lady, it's normal for couples to live together. What's the big deal?" If your degree is real, then I can only say that a person's awareness really has little to do with how much they've read. Are you a fake person? Violent account launch. Even if I were to die tomorrow, I wouldn't dare to expose myself as a mistress here today and gossip about my own man. I advise you to know your place, and then see if the phrase strict family upbringing has anything to do with you. If it's really that bad, go register at your own hospital. "I'm really scared of you people," retorted Sujia vehemently. "How can 2 people live together before they're even engaged?" It shows that this girl is throwing herself at him, completely lacking self-respect. For a moment, I was in awe of her double standards. A proper boyfriend and girlfriend can't live together, but she can sleep in a male colleague's bed. Not long after, there was another sound from the doorway. Sujia had woken up, and they were ready to leave. I walked out of the room and watched Ching Shujo see them off, then come back with a bag of fruit. "Your favorite cherries are gone," he said. I bought some apples and grapefruit. I stared at my phone. Sujia had updated her status with that box of big, red cherries. The last box of cherries, he bought it for me without a second thought. I looked up to see Ching Shujo washing fruit in the kitchen. He was bustling around for me, just like when we first got together. He had always been good to me, even during this past year when he was distracted. But why was he distracted? We were so close. We could have gone from school uniforms to wedding gowns. Why did he give up halfway? When I couldn't help but want to ask him, Ching Shujo repeatedly wiped his hands and glanced at his phone by the sink. In that moment, all the answers became unimportant. Songjin, don't mistake the flowers in the trash can for the little prince's rose. It doesn't belong there, and neither do you. The washed fruit was brought to me, the apple carefully cut into small pieces, and the pomelo cleaned and placed in a bowl. Eat up. I'll go buy you cherries tomorrow. Before I could say anything, his phone rang. Ching Shujo instinctively looked at me. I raised my head. What are you looking at me for? Do I have a phone number on my face? He turned slightly to answer the phone, giving a simple hum, and when he looked at me again, there was more guilt and avoidance in his eyes. Sujia is feeling unwell. I have to go now. Go to sleep first. I tilted my head, a little curious. Isn't she a doctor herself? Ching Shujo was momentarily stunned. She's not exactly a doctor yet. I smiled. Then you are. Otherwise, why would you call him? Ching Shujo's face was somewhat grim. In all these years, this was the first time I saw him showing dissatisfaction with me. Jin is alone in Hangzhou, without any support. I think you can relate. Besides, it's just colleagues helping each other. You don't need to overthink it. Oh. I nodded, having nothing to say. If it were before, I would have told him that if she's unwell, she should go to the hospital. Even if she had to call someone, it should be, not someone else's boyfriend. But now I didn't want to say it, nor did I need to. Ching Shujo and I went downstairs one after the other. He got into a ride-hailing car, while I dragged my suitcase and hailed a taxi not far from him. I stared at the rear-view mirror, watching helplessly as Ching Shujo and I went from walking hand in hand in joy to now turning our backs on each other in despair. Suddenly, a heavy rain started outside. Just like that time during the sophomore year sports meet, when he was about to run the 3,000-meter race, the loudspeaker kept calling his name. But he appeared in the classroom where I was the only one and said, "Can you spare some time for me? I want you to watch me take first place." Ching Shujo's eyes were bright, filled with unguarded honesty and joy. I looked at him blankly. As if possessed, I nodded. The next second, he grabbed my wrist and ran out of the classroom. The hot wind blowing in our faces was filled with the breath of youth, making people restless. But within just one day, the pure love and fearless courage of youth had all vanished. Regretful? Of course I am. The love was real. The happiness I had all along was real, but I already knew that in his heart, I was no longer the only irreplaceable one. So, I didn't want him anymore. I gave up everything I once looked forward to that was connected to him. 2 streetlights by the roadside, having illuminated each other, had fulfilled their purpose. I no longer insisted on breaking up face to face, nor did I dwell on the reason for the betrayal. Ching Shujo and I were completely over. The afternoon sunlight was gentle and unhurried, every fallen leaf in the courtyard utterly at ease, except for the phone that kept buzzing, a bit annoying. Each time, it was a new number calling. That night, I had blocked all of Ching Shujo's contacts and hidden away in the guest house my aunt had built. People came and went, many of them couples in the throes of passionate love, and every time I saw them, a surge of emotion would torture me, tearing me apart. I suddenly understood those girls betrayed in love, who saw the truth but still tried to convince themselves they were in love. Even when the answer was clear, they couldn't bear to let go. These past few days, words couldn't describe the twisted, tangled pain and grievance I felt. I kept questioning my worthiness to be loved. I doubted myself, thinking I was the worst person in the world, even though I knew it wasn't my fault. But one person's betrayal seems to push another into endless self-denial. Sujia's posts were still updating. How could it not be fate? She spent 8 years accompanying him to where he is today, while I only had 1 year. So, even if the person you like has a girlfriend, don't give up. That girl really backed out. As expected, if heaven has a way, it will eventually bring true lovers together. I think all girls should still strive for the person they like. Don't give up because of some worldly definitions. If you ask me, the one who isn't favored or chosen is the real third wheel. And being together should make each other better versions of themselves. I believe I can help him more than his ex could, and to be honest, I heard that girl got a recommendation as an outstanding student, so her family probably has some pull. She'd better not let me catch any dirt on her. Otherwise, I'll definitely report her and seek justice for those of us slogging through the college entrance exam. The comments exploded. This thread is tagging your most foul-mouthed weirdos. I've really come up in the world, witnessing a homewrecker successfully stealing a boyfriend and then threatening to report someone. Separate issues. If sister homewrecker can take down a sister backdoor, then it's evened out. National education fairness is more important than your personal love drama. The person above, is it possible she's trying to change the subject to rationalize being the third wheel? If you've got the guts, give us a name. If you dare to give it to me, I'll dare to dox her. Seeing this post, all the sins of this life are offset. Can you please stop recommending these posts that offer no support? If you recommend again, I'll uninstall the app. Well, to put it simply, my brows never relaxed. I curse harshly, so I'll leave first. As far as I know, in the medical system, when it comes to helping you, you can't compare to the children of high-ranking officials. As for character, oh, you don't have any. After weighing the pros and cons, he chose you. You have issues, and this guy has even more issues. What exactly do you have to be happy about? Out of so many comments, Suja only replied to one comment. You really can help me dox her. The day before returning to school, I sat in the courtyard for a long time until all the lights in the guest house went out. Suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me. It was the older sister from the first room on the second floor. I quickly stood up. Is there anything I can help you with? She smiled. I saw you sitting here for a long time. I wanted to come down and see what exactly made you reluctant to rest. In so many dark nights, you've witnessed your own collapse and rebuilding. It must have been very hard. I suddenly looked up, opened my mouth, but couldn't say a word. I am a regular at your aunt's place, also here to heal myself. I lowered my eyes. For a moment, I didn't even know where to start. She leaned back comfortably in the rocking chair, her gaze pure and bright. Some people just forget their roots. Once they get what they want, they forget how they once stood on tiptoes, pressing against the window to look at her. The truth is, he did love you, but it's also true that he can't resist novelty. This isn't your problem. You're still young. In this life, you'll go through one storm after another. You have to stand by yourself, not force yourself to blame yourself. You've already been wronged enough, haven't you? I shook my head. I just don't understand. We've been going smoothly all along. He used to be such a good person, so good to me, so much, so that when I discovered his cheating, the saddest thing was knowing we really had no future together. She replaced the cold water on my table with hot tea and said slowly, life itself is made up of countless stages. Even if he had points back then, now he only has points, so he only has those points, not an average. Stop using the past to forgive the present. Don't forgive all the hurt just for a few happy moments in your memories. The 18-year-old you wouldn't like the current him. I sat dazed on the wooden chair, not snapping out of it for a long time. Yeah, Ching Shujo had changed long ago. It was just silent. The 18-year-old me wouldn't like the current him, just like how could the 18-year-old him bear to watch me force myself again and again through negative emotions, and then leave him with nothing but regret and disappointment. Go rest. Remember, love others in moderation, but love yourself wholeheartedly. You must take good care of yourself. The next afternoon, I boarded the plane back to the capital. Before turning off my phone, I posted a PDF several pages long and casually tagged Sujia and Ching Shujo's accounts. Who should I share the shape of clouds with? The newly opened milk tea shop on the roadside? Or the half spoon of extra salt in a certain dish in the cafeteria? As I looked back through their chat records and recalled the changes over the past year, it was actually full of loopholes long ago. For example, when Chung Shujo first started his standardized training, he would find opportunities to jokingly complain to me, but gradually that stopped. I thought he was just used to it, or maybe he didn't have time. For example, when we ate out, I was always the one finding the restaurants. But he suddenly started sharing trendy spots with me, like how someone so old-fashioned and proper as him began telling me internet memes. Whoever he shares with, that person gets his passion and affection. That's why there were so many moments of disconnection afterward. When I was video calling him, he was calmly helping her fill out medical records and to comfort her while she was drunk and crying. He didn't even notice my hand on the hospital bed still bleeding back. He even went to a concert with her, not even having time to reply to my text asking what was wrong and the last box of cherries. When I got off the plane, this article had taken over the trending topics on every platform. Everyone was discussing the definition of cheating. Is it only cheating if you sleep together? No. Without crossing physical boundaries, without physical betrayal. Just a casual share, a slightly more frequent contact than with ordinary friends. That's enough to tear apart an 8-year relationship. Someone in the comments asked me why the blogger has such a good memory, remembering every single detail. I thought about it for a long time and finally replied, because I once loved him so deeply, so I remember every single thing that happened between us. Every look, every movement, but now, ironically, it's all of this that loops over and over in my mind, constantly reminding me of the fact that Cheng Shujo cheated. The comment section was lively. If heaven has a way, it will naturally let the main lead catch the mistress. My breast health is saved. Who exactly is the OP? This page really has not a single unnecessary word. The mistress was busy deleting posts, never expecting the main lead had already written a word-for-word analysis. A role model for us all. A trainee at a top-tier hospital should be easy to find, having come in last year. The funniest thing is that the mistress sister even asked others to dox the main lead. The neighboring department is already gossiping, while the person involved is still crying and claiming innocence, but no one cares. Cheng Shujo stood alone outside my dormitory building. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, his eyes bloodshot. Are you satisfied now? Can you give me a chance to explain? His tone was somewhat displeased. As if indulging my childish tantrum, I didn't stop walking and went straight into the dormitory building. Jean, listen to me, let me explain. Su Jia and I aren't what you think. Cheng Shujo knew it very well in his heart. I just packed up everything that belonged to me from the apartment, just blocked his contact info, just ignored him for a few days. He promptly called and texted me nonstop to admit his mistakes, telling me not to misunderstand his relationship with Su Jia. At best, they were just workmates. But he forgot. I hadn't said anything yet. So, he had already thought that his relationship with Su Jia might lead to the end of our relationship. But he still took that gamble, hoping for the best. He wasn't clueless. He just wasn't afraid of losing me. Yet at this moment, when Cheng Shujo saw me, he suddenly realized that I really seemed about to give up on him. He hadn't anticipated this consequence, so he couldn't accept it. For 2 straight months, he came to the capital city almost every chance he got, waiting outside the lab for 2 hours with eager eyes, then rushed back to Hangzhou in a hurry. But I acted as if I didn't see him, eating properly and sleeping properly. He was seriously doing the experiment. During that time, he took a phone call. It was Su Jia again. A Su. Did you make it clear to her? Did you get her to delete the post and apologize? Before she could finish speaking, Cheng Shujo hung up the phone. He looked at me with a pitiful expression, as if trying to prove his determination to me. Cheng Shujo. I suddenly stopped walking. Actually, that hot pot restaurant you went to that day. I was there too. Cheng Shujo's eyes widened suddenly, a flash of panic in them. I heard you could smoothly pick up every topic she brought up. When she complained about the birthday gift I gave you, you didn't think to stop her. Your spark lasted 300 full days. Don't you know what she posts every day? Photos of the two of you together, ambiguous chat records between the two of you. Vlogs of you two going out together. Cheng Shujo kept shaking his head. No, it's not like that. At that time, she told me there was a patient who kept harassing her and asked me to play along with her act. Then why didn't you tell me in advance? I was afraid you'd be angry. I lowered my eyes and sighed softly. You see, you knew all along that I would be angry, so you'd rather hide it from me and go play her boyfriend. Even in the worst-case scenario, was there no one more suitable than you? Cheng Shujo didn't continue this topic, asking me with a tearful voice if we could not break up. You've already taken your revenge, if that's what you wanted. I'm willing to stake my future to win you back. I know I handled this matter poorly. I thought I would definitely draw a clear line with her. Believe me, revenge. I couldn't help but interrupt him. In this relationship, The most painful person should be me, who has been sincerely liking you every single day. I'm not trying to take revenge on you, but to give her an explanation. Jean, we truly haven't done anything to betray you. Sujia, and I have already paid a price you can't imagine. I was slightly stunned, forcing back the emotions in my heart. So Ching Shujo wasn't here to admit his mistakes at all. He didn't even know where he went wrong. On the way home from work, a little puppy winked at her. The dumplings for breakfast today were bigger than usual. The wind on Nanshan Road was so strong it messed up her hair. The stars tonight are super bright. I roughly recalled their daily sharing, then looked up at Ching Shujo. These meaningless things were essentially meant to let you participate in my life. I think we started out that way too. But now you're using the legitimate identity of a friend to secretly enjoy the thrill and excitement of having female companionship. Why did you give her the last box of cherries? You're so smart, you know it better than anyone. Ching Shujo, there's no chance for us anymore. In late autumn in Jing City, the wind blowing in my face was already a bit biting. Even the dullest person should have been awakened by it. I tightened my scarf, walked past him straight into the dormitory, and didn't look back at him. Ching Shujo didn't give up. He said he had waited for me for 2 whole years before and finally got his wish at 18. So now he wasn't afraid to spend even more time winning me back. He was either catching a high-speed train or on his way to one. Almost every few days, I would see him standing wearily downstairs at the dormitory, carrying in his hand the snacks and pastries from Hangzhou that I loved most. The dormitory manager was somewhat familiar with Ching Shujo, always greeting him with a smile in the past. But when she learned some truths from my roommate, one day she suddenly stopped me as I was about to go upstairs and said, "Good child. Don't soften your heart just because of a few sweet words from a man. You must firmly remember his ugliest side. I've been through it as a woman. Remember, a loving person endures, but a loveless one cheats. If you waver and are soft-hearted, you're just encouraging the other person's insatiable greed and wickedness." I nodded, memorizing every word she said without missing a single one. A little over a month passed. Finally, Ching Shujo stopped showing up at my school as usual. My phone vibrated, and I suddenly received a strange text. "You've gone far enough. The relationship between him and me hasn't developed into what you imagine. You just haven't experienced anything truly worse. You have a whole cake in your hands. But because a corner accidentally broke off, you cry and want to throw it away. What about those of us who are starving? You're just luckier than me. He's done so much for you. What right do you have to blame him?" It turned out that Ching Shujo had collapsed from exhaustion while on duty. Carelessly prescribing cephalosporins for an allergic patient to fight infection led to the patient going into shock and requiring resuscitation, barely missing a fatal incident. Although a trainee doctor has someone to cover for them, due to Ching Shujo's recent behavior and the negative impact on the hospital, his almost certain opportunity to stay at the hospital was completely lost. A series of blows, coupled with the running around during this time, completely broke Ching Shujo down. After the incident, Su Jia could hardly find a chance to speak with him. Taking advantage of when he was home alone with a high fever, Su Jia chose to fight for one more chance for herself, but she didn't expect to sneak away from her night shift to take care of Ching Shujo, even ignoring calls from the nurses. Over time, the future prospects for both of them grew increasingly dim. What happened later seemed to have nothing to do with me. I only heard that both of them had poor reputations at the hospital, which gave other equally talented people more opportunities. I still occasionally saw that familiar figure, in the cafeteria, downstairs at the lab, at the dormitory entrance. But I would no longer stop for him. Half a year later, I successfully received an offer from the Mayo Clinic in the United States and began a challenging new journey. On the first day of work, I ran into an old acquaintance, my senior fellow student. She was surprised that the relationship between Ching Shujo and I ended in such an unexpected way. "Oh my God, you have no idea how many people envied you back then. And of course, now I envy you just as much. Envy your decisiveness in cutting through a tangled mess. Everything has an echo. Any person or thing that is unfavorable to me will become the courage for me to move forward positively." I smiled as usual, but I was quite emotional inside. Because I too couldn't see myself clearly for a long time. I could only wait for dawn, wait for letting go, wait for a clear day. Optimistic yet pessimistic. Fortunately, time is a calm river, sinking all stories that cannot go on, including the flutter of my heart at 18. Bold and unrestrained, also including that relationship for which I once pulled out countless evidence to prove he was the right person. One day, 2 years later, I accompanied Suzhen to the community hospital to pick up medicine. As soon as we entered, I heard people arguing. When I looked up, I caught sight of a familiar face. It was Chung Shujo. A group of people surrounded him aggressively, seemingly accusing him of prescribing more expensive medicine for a kickback. Could there really be any kickbacks in a community hospital like this? Suzhen was dizzy with fever and pulled my hand, heading for the door. Jean, let's go home first. You just got off the plane today, you must be exhausted. I'll go to the hospital tomorrow. Suddenly, a burning gaze fell on me. I looked up, our eyes met, and Chung Shujo's eyes suddenly reddened. His lips trembled slightly, as if he had 1,000 words to say. I calmly looked away and tugged at Suzhen's hand. Let's go to the hospital now. Illness can't be delayed. I'll go with you. The moment we stepped out the door, Chung Shujo, somehow finding the strength, pushed through the crowd and rushed in front of me. Suzhen, startled, quickly shielded me behind him. Chung Shujo stared at me intensely. He suddenly spoke. Do you regret meeting me? I smiled. No, I don't. Delete any single moment in my life, and I wouldn't be who I am today. Do you still hate me? You must hate me so much. Chung Shujo seemed to be trapped in that most embarrassing memory between us, his emotions spiraling out of control. It's all my fault, all my fault. Jean, you must hate me to death. I tilted my head, feeling a bit baffled. I honestly can't remember how much I hated you back then, just as I can't remember how much I once loved you. Chung Shujo suddenly lifted his head, staring at me in disbelief. I exchanged a glance with Suzhen, then politely said goodbye. Sorry, my boyfriend isn't feeling well. We're leaving now. With that, I took Suzhen's hand and walked straight out of the hospital. Chung Shujo stood there, like a puppet drained of its soul, letting those people push and insult him. Perhaps at that moment, if I had turned around, I would have seen his face full of tears. But I had already walked through one bright spring after another and lush summers on a path without him, witnessed one hazy autumn rain after another, and snowflakes flying all around. There was no need to turn back anymore. There are no missed people. Those who leave are just passers-by. May everyone who bravely ends something be rewarded with a new beginning. The end.